All right, let's do our daily recap here for March 28th, 2023. All right, so if you're in the room this morning, you know I had a couple trades before the top of the hour. We went short on the US 500, which is going to be the E-mini 500. And I was in that trade for quite a while, so let's take a look at the trade. So I initiated a short, and that was approximately somewhere around 9. Let's go back. It's before that. It was around 8:40, 8:40, something like that, 8:42. I went ahead and I initiated a short. As you can see right here, I went ahead and I added 2 additional shorts on top of that. So when we came up, I added an additional short, and then the third short, I'll show you where I got in on the third short. As it was coming up, I added on an additional short. I still had my target way down there. I was in this trade almost for the whole day because it was just not going anywhere. But it finally decided to give in, never hit my reversal stop. When it did come down, let's see here, came down, we'll see target. This was target right here. So you can see we started coming down. We finally hit target. Now this was, I believe this was an HF2 short, all right? And so I held it until we hit profit target. The reason I held it so long and didn't get out early was only because I was seeing a lot of weakness in there. And the market just couldn't hold it up today. So because of that, I went ahead, and I'm glad I did. Turned out to be just a beautiful trade. I did sell crude. Don't really need to show crude. Crude was, I think it was just a regular pairing pattern short on the crude. Let's take a look at crude. So ended up taking crude, only one trade on the crude. Also, that was this morning, put that one on at 8:44. Shortly after I put on the E-mini S&P, picked up 147 on that. Then after the top of the hour, I continued on in our live trading room, and I did pick up 773 on the yen, but where I lost it was on the Aussie. I went ahead and took a short on the Aussie, got a little bit aggressive on the Aussie. I think it had ended up eventually coming down, but I didn't want to play the Aussie again. My favorites are always going to be it's going to be the Euro US, and it's going to be the US yen. So, but I really like the short on the Aussie. But unfortunately, it didn't work out, so I ended up losing 977 on that. But overall, did well at 1707. And let's look at the stocks we called this morning. And let's switch our screens. All right, so here's the stocks. So you saw me take, the first stock I took was SI. We'll show you that here in just a minute. But right after that, I took Key. Let's see, I took SI. First trade I put on was at 941. And let's see here. When did I put? I put Key on at 1020. Okay, so I put Key on at 1020. And so what happened is this green line here was the actual entry point. I didn't actually get in. I was really getting in kind of late. Probably should have waited for the pullback, but I did not. I got in at 65. When we came up here to this first level right here, which is this green light, I decided I didn't really want to hold. And the reason for that was because, once again, I was short the E-mini S&P. I liked and looked like the market was going to be heavy, so I was really a little nervous about holding this particular stock for an extended period of time. So I went ahead and got out, ended up not getting a very good fill, ended up getting out at 67. The net after commissions, I still lost $100, but you can see what happened here. After this pullback, and the stop was down here, or the reversal was down here, I did not, I would have been safe to hold it, but it actually did come up, and it hit this one to hit this third level. I had another one sitting up here, but it did hit up all 3 levels, but it was too late. I was already out of it. All right, so let's take a look at SI. SI was the one that I put on first this morning, and I bought that at 218. Let's change charts here. All right, this was a pretty easy trade. It was an HF1 buy. HF1 is one of the patterns that I look at. I have a total of 4 or 5 different ones that I look at in the morning, but HF1 is always my strongest. Pretty easy trade. Went ahead and I entered here at 218. I added some more at 222, and I was in this trade, I don't think more than 10 minutes. It went ahead and it hit two levels. It hit this first level, second level. Once it failed on the second level, went and got out. Still ended up nicely making 247. And then, of course, later in the afternoon, I actually traded a little bit of VKTX. And I should have held on to that trade because it just exploded at the end of the day. But I ended up actually giving up a little bit. So I made a little bit more on TX this morning. Gave a little bit back in the afternoon. I think I gave up like $60 or something. But I still ended up holding a little bit of gain on VKTX. But I was buying it back up. I think it was around 27 or something like that. And this thing just exploded up to 40 something. I mean, it would have been a beautiful trade, but I didn't hold it very long. I wanted to get out. I didn't like it. It was just kind of bouncing around. So I ended up taking a little bit of loss, $60. So I gave up a little bit of money on VKTX. Also traded a COEP. I like that. It was a nice little stock, nice little pop. Didn't hold that one for very long. Got out of that. HIBS, that's been on the radar for a while. Probably could have done better on HIBS. Went ahead and got out of that. But overall, still not a killer day, but still not a bad day when I consider what I did on the indices. So that's gonna pretty much wrap it up. Remember, we do this live every morning. You can come and watch me make these trades. I do call them out as I'm making them. With SI, I actually saw the entries early, so I had an alert sitting up there in order to purchase into or buy into that SI. And then the rest came kind of late here, and I just jumped in. I really like Key. I probably could have done better with Key, but once again, I was a little skittish about the market, the weakness coming in on the market. So, all right, that's going to wrap it up. For further information, you can just go to my YouTube channel, Innovative Trading Strategies, or my website, innovativetradingstrategies.com. If you'd like to learn these strategies, I'm having an Easter special, 40% off. I usually don't have big sales, but I am going to slash it 40% off. I have 3 different packages that you can look at. The one that includes Einstein, once again, we will be raising the price quite a bit on Einstein, but I'm going to leave it as it is for right now. And then after Easter, probably go ahead and raise the price on Einstein. Einstein is where I get these levels. Once again, Einstein is not some sort of Fibonacci number. It is not support and resistance. Nothing to do with GAN. It's an actual formula designed by a gentleman back in the 80s, very successful day trader. He traded the S&P 500 and Treasury bonds with it. But it does work across the board. But then when I combine it with my patterns, it's really a really strong combo with those two tools. And I only use the 2 tools. That's it. Very simple. Use my patterns and wait for them to set up a buy or sell. Run Einstein against those patterns, and they give me levels. And that's pretty much it, folks. And the success rate on the patterns and also the levels are above 70%. That's been consistent for all these years, 35 years. So for me it's a simpler way of trading than getting into all this other stuff. The only other thing I look at, you notice in the mornings, I do look at buying and selling. I want to see where the buyers and sellers are. I use Bookmap for that. If you're not familiar with Bookmap, join me in the morning and you'll be able to see what Bookmap does. So Bookmap, what that does, it gives me an indication of, where the heavy sellers are and the heavy buyers. That also helps me decide whether I want to carry a trade longer into a level or not. Not that it's not going to eventually hit the level, but if I see heavy selling, say, coming in at level 1, I may wait for to get out, take the profit, wait for the dip, then see some buying come in and go in and take it again and try to hit those additional levels. So that's kind of how I play it. But I teach you all of that in our live trading room, and of course the videos go through this. So, all right, that's going to wrap it up, and we'll see everybody first thing tomorrow morning. Remember, we start at 9 and I run through 10 every morning Eastern time. First hour is free to everybody, and then after that we do go into our live trading room and trade with our subscribers. Also, we have a Discord channel that we're getting ready to open up. If you'd like an invitation to that, there is going to be a room that's going to be completely free, where we're going to share information and a lot of good trading tips and ideas. And then, of course, the subscribers will have their rooms as well. So that's going to wrap it up. Everybody have a good night, and see you first thing tomorrow morning.